Today we're going to learn how to play the high E note, introduce the acute bend technique, and dive a little deeper into dotted rhythm. So stay tuned. What's up, amigos? My name is David, and welcome back to How to Play Ocarina. This series goes right alongside my new method book of the same name, which includes all the exercises, illustrations, additional songs, and a whole lot more. So if you'd like to order your own copy or download the PDF version, head on over to daviderickramos.com/store or just click the link in the description. You can also just continue along with these videos by subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you know whenever I post a new lesson. Let's go ahead and start today's lesson by reviewing some concepts from lesson 4. You can see we have some eighth notes, some dots, some ties, and a repeat at the end. Go ahead and take a look at this for a second. Pause if you need to. We'll play it together, and then you can try it by yourself. All right, let's go ahead and give it a try. Here is our tempo, and I will count us in. 1, 2, ready, play. Repeat. Good job. By yourself, I will count you in. 1, 2, ready, play. Repeat. Great job. Now diving a little deeper on those dotted rhythms, remember that a dot adds half the duration of whatever note it's attached to. So for example, with that half note, when we added a dot to it, it would add an extra quarter note for a total of 3 beats. Half note equals 2 beats, the dot would equal a quarter beat, 3 beats total. Well, when we add that dot to a smaller duration, like a quarter note, it also adds half that duration. So half of a quarter note would be what? An eighth note. So you would add an eighth note to that quarter note, so it would be equal to 1 beat and a half. And taking a look at exercise 5.2, we can see how this might look a little confusing at first, but it's not that difficult. To help us understand how this might work, we can subdivide each of those notes into eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you can see that the 2 of that second beat is kind of attached to the first beat with that dot. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's how you would count it. So I'm going to clap out this exercise, and I'm actually going to whisper the downbeat so that way it's not too confusing, and only say out loud the parts that we're going to be clapping like this. 1, 2, 3, and clap. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 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 and got it? Now that we have an idea of how the rhythms sound, which is the most confusing part, let's just try playing it together, holding that G note. And we're going to use this tempo. 1, and 2, and 3, and play. And if you need to rewind the video to play along with that again, go ahead and go for it. But if you think you got it, let's go ahead and let you try it by yourself. I will count you in. 1, 2, ready, play, and. Good job. I know this is a little tough at first, so don't be too upset if you didn't get it. Let's try practicing a little bit more in exercise 5.3 and take a look at it for a second so you can see how these eighth notes are laid out. I'm going to go ahead and play it first just to give you an example, and it's going to be a little bit faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Let's try it together. 1, 2, ready, play. Good job. Let's have you play it by yourself. 1, 2, ready, play. Good job. Now we're moving on to our new pitch of the lesson, which is a high E, and all we're going to do is from a D position, which is the left thumb uncovered, is we're going to now lift up our right thumb by just rocking it out of the way, like so. We're just going to pivot it on our thumb so that it uncovers that hole, but without moving our thumb completely, because most of the balance happens on our right thumb, with also our left thumb being a support finger, and you can even pinch down if you'd like. So this is a high E. Now, if your ocarina doesn't sound that clear, we're also going to introduce a new concept called the acute bend technique. You might have heard me say this before in past videos and lessons, but basically all you have to do is turn the ocarina down like this at about a 45 to 90 degree angle, depending on your ocarina, and it should clear up the tone of the ocarina dramatically. It should sound a little bit louder, a little bit clearer. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about how this works, you can check out my past video tutorial about it by clicking up there, or also the link in the description below. But for the sake of time in this lesson, we're just going to move ahead on with the exercise 5.4, which goes from a high C up to a high E, and it sounds like this. Okay, as you can see, I was also using my support finger, so don't forget about those, and there is a repeat at the end, so let's include that as well. I'll count us in. 1, 2, ready, play. Good job, and by yourself. 1, 2, ready, play. And repeat. Good job. Now on to exercise 5.5, and it sounds like this. Now together. 1, 2, ready, play. And by yourself. 1, 2, ready, play. Repeat. Great job. Okay, now we're on our first of 2 songs for this lesson. Take a look at it for a minute, pause if you need to, and then we're going to have you give it a try. All right, here's your tempo, and I will count you in. 1, 2, ready, play. Good job. Let's try it together. 1, 2, ready, play. Good job. All right, now we're on our last song of the lesson. Take a look at this for a second. Be careful with those dotted rhythms. Clap it out if you need to, and then you can give it a try. All right, here is our tempo. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, play. Great, let's try it together. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, play. Great job. That's going to do it for today's lesson. Awesome job. And if you'd like to get a head start on next week's lesson or just review everything we learned today, be sure to check out my method book at daviderickramos.com/store. As always, a very special thank you to my patrons for making these videos possible. And if you'd like to help support these tutorials as well, check out patreon.com/docjust4, where you can also get MP3s, backtracks, sheet music, one-on-one lessons, and a lot more as a thank you for your support. So thank you for checking that out. We'll see you here next week for lesson 6. And until then, I hope you have an amazing week. I'll see you then.